Hey guys, it's Mathel here once again with the follow-up video for the Frostblades Assassin using the White Wind weapon. It is a bit of a long time coming. I had a day off and a bit of a slow day, and there was just a few things happening with this character that took it a bit longer than most, and overall the character did do basically what it should do, which is be a pretty fun active build for fairly low amounts of currency, because the White Wind itself is not a very expensive weapon. I mean, it's not going to take you all the way to the absolute tippity top of endgame gear, but it can definitely take you through all endgame content. Frostblades itself is an extremely strong clearing skill still. That hasn't really changed, I don't think, in past few years, but the fact that it doesn't have the strongest single target does mean that it's a bit overlooked for quite a lot of builds. It's going to get you started from like level 1 through to 80 or so very comfortably, with a few little gaps here or there and while you're gearing up and getting the right lengths, but then it does start to tail off unless you put in some serious investment. You can't do too much more serious investment on a build like this. It's going to come largely from your weapon when you're using probably a fizz weapon into cold conversion for Frostblades, something like that, and a Berserker, for example, will probably be the ascendancy that pulls out the biggest deeps for you, whereas an Assassin is still pretty good, but I don't think it's quite at that same level of deeps, and maybe even you don't really want to use a dagger in the end. A dagger is a little bit not the strongest weapon type out there. You know, a good sword and the bottom half of the passive tree probably going to yield you quite a lot more damage in the long term. But the character itself was a pretty good character for overall mapping. It had very good dodge, very good movement speed, very good evasion. It was like, it didn't have huge amounts of life in the end, 5.5, 5.6k, but that's pretty relevant when we have capped dodge, like 40 or 50 evasion, and a very fast playstyle. It would rarely die, rarely get hit by anything, and I do recommend playing at least one dodge character in your lifetimes, whether or not it's Assassin or Raider, because it just feels freaking good, basically never getting hit and having a very fast character. You can see an example of our single target here on a tier 16 boss, because we do still have Ancestral Call in, but it takes a bit of setup. You got to put down your totem, you got to get Frost Bomb down, and then if everything's going well, you can kill him relatively quickly, and the single target in the end really isn't even that bad. It was something like 2 to 3 million single target, but that's if all the stars align. As in, you've got all your flasks up, you got your totem down, you got the Frost Bomb down, you have all your buffs up, and in some situations, like the Conquerors that you're about to see, it's not always super easy to do, because they do move around a bit, you do drop off some of your buffs, and in the end it didn't feel good for things like Conquerors. That's basically the only hiccup we had throughout playing or throughout doing the endgame content. Like, it was still fine, it's still doable, except for the little part here where I die because I have uncapped lightning resist and didn't actually know that the attack was going off before it went off. So I kind of just committed and thought, hey, I'm fine, but then there was an attack that went off and not fine. It's not the greatest, but yes, it is completely still doable, and it's, you know, okay. Cirrus himself was a lot better for some reason. Like, I'll show you the Cirrus in just a second, and that fight was really clean, and the DPS wasn't that bad at all. But the Conquerors seemed a little bit tougher, and I imagine something like Shaper Guardians and Uber Elder won't be terribly fun to do, but up until that, it's a really nice mapping character and pretty damn budget. I mean, it's a White Wind and then slap a bunch of stuff on, maybe get a Mark of the Elder, and Crafting League makes things quite a bit easier overall for all of this type of gear as well. So yeah, that's it for Frostblades. You can take it to much higher levels with much more currency, but this one did everything it needed to do. It was a pretty fun version. White Wind, not a bad little weapon anymore. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. And I need to stack up power charges. Like, I don't think I can take a single beam without Wise Oak up. with uncapped lightning. And nothing I could have done about that? Just remove 12 attack speed, technically. Fuck, man. Root, thanks for the 18-month reset.
The others found strength in their projections. They became reliant on them. I am not so foolish. Be silent. Die.
Still only on 3 power charges, there we go. I'm just gonna save flasks for the last phase. I can't afford to not have max flasks going into the last phase. Alright, took 1 beam. Not terrific. Jesus, I almost died there.
Life really interesting enough to warrant all this pain. Die.
New power charges are up. My little setup takes too long as well. Try to get Totem and Frostbomb down. And he keeps poofing around and stuff. Whoa! Dude, you're done! You can't fucking zap me one more time. That almost killed me. That was a highly illegal move. Indeed. Yeah, look, MTX has changed. I was all fiery and it just went completely, like, that's what I'm looking for. Matted black. Burnt to a crisp. Alright. I mean, looks like we dodge attacks pretty well still. Don't know when to go ham. Now. Down. When I did get to go ham, it was pretty good. It's a pretty active playstyle. Not active, I mean a mobile playstyle. I'm not getting hit too much. And I lost power charges. Whew! Not too bad, honestly. Not all that bad. It's the white charge buff. Inspiration from Inspiration Support.
This was all my
The playstyle was clean. The DPS is nothing special, but yeah. Losing charges and shit is annoying.